Harriet Tubman, life story. Harriet Tubman was one of the most courageous and influential figures in American history. She was born into slavery but escaped and later risked her life many times to help others gain freedom. Her story is a powerful example of bravery, determination, and sacrifice for human rights. Harriet Tubman was born around 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland, United States. Her birth name was Araminta Ross, but she later took her mother's name, Harriet. She was born into slavery, which meant she was considered property and had no freedom. From a very young age, she experienced extreme hardship. She was forced to work long hours and faced brutal punishment if she disobeyed her owners. One of the most traumatic events of her childhood happened when she was injured by a heavy metal weight thrown by an overseer. The injury caused her lifelong headaches, dizziness, and even visions. Despite this, she developed a strong spiritual belief and deep faith in God, which she later said guided her actions throughout her life. In 1849, Harriet decided to escape slavery. She could no longer endure the harsh conditions and feared being sold away from her family. Using the Underground Railroad, a secret network of safe houses and helpers, she escaped from Maryland to Philadelphia, a free state. This journey was extremely dangerous because slave catchers were always searching for runaway slaves. After gaining her freedom, Harriet Tubman made a life-changing decision. Instead of living safely in freedom, she returned to the South multiple times to rescue others. She became one of the most famous conductors of the Underground Railroad. Over the years, she made approximately 13 missions and rescued around 70 enslaved people, including family members and strangers. Harriet never lost a single passenger on her missions, which is why she was often called Moses of her people, referring to the biblical figure who led his people to freedom. She used clever strategies to avoid capture, such as traveling at night, using disguises, and following secret routes. She also carried a gun, not only for protection but also to encourage frightened escapees not to turn back, as this would risk everyone's safety. During the American Civil War 1861-1865, Harriet Tubman played another important role. She worked for the Union Army as a spy, nurse, and scout. She became the first woman in U.S. history to lead an armed military raid. In the Combahee River Raid in 1863, she helped guide Union forces to free more than 700 enslaved people in South Carolina. This mission was a major success and showed her intelligence and leadership skills. After the war ended and slavery was abolished, Harriet Tubman continued her fight for justice. However, she faced financial difficulties and health problems throughout her later life. Despite her contributions, she did not receive proper financial support from the government for many years. She spent her later years advocating for women's rights and supporting elderly African Americans. Harriet also worked with well-known activists such as Frederick Douglass, who admired her bravery and wrote about her contributions. She believed strongly in equality, not only for African Americans but also for women. She supported the women's suffrage movement, which fought for women's right to vote. In her old age, Harriet Tubman settled in Auburn, New York, where she lived in a home given to her by supporters. She also established the Harriet Tubman Home for the Aged, where she cared for elderly African Americans in need. Harriet Tubman died on March 10, 1913, at around 91 years of age. She was buried with military honors, recognizing her service during the Civil War. Her legacy continues to inspire millions of people around the world. Today, Harriet Tubman is remembered as a symbol of courage, freedom, and resistance against oppression. Her life shows how one determined person can make a huge difference in the world. She is honored in schools, museums, books, and even on proposed U.S. currency designs. Her story remains an important part of American history, teaching future generations about bravery, human rights, and the fight for justice.